You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, 3rd day of March 2023. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. The first live broadcast, that's our live training room. 2 hours every trading day from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern. That live broadcast is reserved for members only and those who are taking our 1-week free trial. If you've never taken your 1-week free trial, you can do so by simply going to mytradingiq.com. At the top of the page, click that button and the journey begins. Now, the afternoon broadcast, this broadcast, the one that begins every trading day at 12 noon Eastern, this broadcast is open to the public. That's everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. There are 2 different ways to join the afternoon broadcast. The first way I'll give you, you only have to do this once. Go to mytradingiq.com, scroll down to where it says Afternoon Broadcast, click the link, complete the 30-second registration form, and you're done. Going forward, every trading day, you will receive an email an hour before the afternoon broadcast starts. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email and it will automatically log you into the platform. Now that method gives you access to the question box so that you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there's going to be days you're out of the office, away from your desktop, but you still want to join the afternoon broadcast live. Just point your browser to our YouTube channel, which is very easy to remember, youtube.com/CFRN. One more time, youtube.com/CFRN. Now, not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, we also archive every daily broadcast. Currently, there's over 2,200 daily live broadcasts archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. If you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are, what we do, how we do it, even why we do it. Not only can you watch today's show live, or tomorrow, or Sunday, or whenever you want, you can also scroll back in time. 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, 2 years, even more. And what you'll find, just pick days at random. Just listen to little snippets of some different daily broadcasts. What you'll find is a thread of connectivity, a thread of continuity, woven through each and every daily broadcast. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So we're basically doing today what we've been doing since 2008, except in the last 6 months, we have now introduced TradingView, and we do a live stream each day at 1 p.m. Eastern on the TradingView platform. And as we move forward, we will be doing more and more live broadcast on the TradingView platform. So we want to just say thanks to the folks at TradingView. They've been very helpful in not only helping us to get our indicators onto the platform, but to also get the live stream up and going. So TradingView, thank you. With that said, let's open with a word of prayer. Now, this week we've been talking about finding financial balance in our lives. We've talked about planning, we've talked about budgeting, and today we're going to talk about debt. It's a very real thing, and it's certainly nothing new. Our scripture today is Proverbs 22:7, and I'm reading from the Message translation. It's short and sweet, but man, does it speak volumes. Here we go. The poor are always ruled over by the rich. So don't borrow and put yourself under their power. To have a financially balanced life, along with planning and budgeting, it's important to get out of debt. The borrower is slave to the lender. It's in the book. Proverbs 22:7 reminds us that every time we sign up for debt, we give away a piece of our freedom. The creditor says, pay me first. Doesn't matter what's going on in the rest of your life. If you don't pay me on time and pay me in full, I'll ruin you. You may be wondering if all debt is frowned upon in Scripture. Well, the answer is pretty much. But most Christian financial advisors would say that the only acceptable debt is for an appreciating asset. Now, the caveat there is in normal economic times, which many would argue we're not in right now. That means a reasonable mortgage on a home, a reasonable college loan, or a well thought through business loan. What happens, though, is that we rack up all kinds of debt. Some debt is caused by an emergency of some kind, but most debt is consumer debt because we buy too much and try to live beyond our means. We spend money to impress people we don't even like. I'll never forget the first time I stood in a grocery store. Man, this must have been the early 90s. And there was a new checkout lane. And it said Visa and MasterCard accepted here. Now, that was kind of a mind-blowing thing because the concept of buying your groceries on credit was very foreign. Although our ancestors often bought their groceries on credit. But in my years growing up and living life, it wasn't the country store anymore. There wasn't a little ledger that you would settle up at the end of the month. I remember just standing there staring at that aisle. We now accept Visa and MasterCard. And I remember thinking, this is not good. And that was a lot of years ago. Consumer debt. We buy too much and we try to live beyond our means. So in many ways, debt unmasks character flaws. When someone is deep in consumer debt, the day will come when they look in the mirror and ask themselves, how did I get in this situation? And do you know what the hard answer will be? Lack of character. Debt is almost always a symptom of a deeper problem. That's why there is so much shame and embarrassment surrounding this issue. We know deep down that it's fundamentally a matter of character. Debt unmasks things like a lack of contentment, a lack of patience, a lack of trust in God's goodness and provision, and a lack of self-discipline. We see a shiny object, we want it, we can't afford it, we buy it anyway. We must learn to say no. Not only must we learn to say no, we must learn to say, no, I have a plan, and I'm sticking to it. And honestly, that can be a hard thing to do. Ask yourself these 3 questions. How true is this statement in my life? I manage God's resources well. Remember, we own nothing. We're simply stewards of what God has provided us with. Question number 2. How has debt robbed my joy and added stress to my life and my family's life? And number 3, what is my first step towards getting out of debt? Now, Dave Ramsey has a course that if you're in debt and you don't know how to get out of debt, you just might want to check it out. I think he calls it Financial Peace University, something like that. Just Google Dave Ramsey, you'll find it. Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your many blessings, for your mercy, and for your grace. Lord, we pray for the 1.5 million people who are homeless today because of that tragic earthquake. We pray for the families and the friends of the many that are lost and still missing. Lord, forgive us for the mismanagement of our finances. Forgive us for not managing well the resources that you have given us. Specifically, our time and our treasure. We know that you have good plans for our finances. Certainly a better plan than most of us have made. Thank you for your faithfulness and your spirit as we take steps towards being more balanced in our financial lives. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, amen. Well, happy Friday. It's finally here. A couple days to relax. Maybe even have some fun. Remember fun? I do. Remember it well. All right, let me give you the numbers from around the world. I'm going to start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. Currently, the Dow is up 229 points. NASDAQ up 158. That's over 1.25%. S&P 500 up 43 points. just over 1%. And the Russell 2000, or man of the street, up 17 points, just shy of 1%. In the commodity basket, crude oil is up $1.04, trading 79.20 last. That's a gain of over 1.25%. Gold up $12.60, trading 18.5310 last. Silver up 26 cents, trading 21.16 last. For silver, that's a gain of 1.25%, or roughly $1,200 per contract traded. When silver moves $1 in price, that's worth $5,000 per futures contract traded. When crude oil moves $1, that's worth $1,000 per contract traded. Gold, a $1 move is equal to $100 per contract traded. So you got $5,000, $1,000, $100. Silver can be very volatile. Margins can be very high. So be careful. In the Asian markets at the close, Nikkei up 428 points, 1.5%. Shanghai up 17. The Hang Seng up 138. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE up 3 points, but the DAX up 250 points, which is over 1.5%. And the CAC up 63 points, which is almost 1%. That gave us a green day in Asia. It was a green day for the UK. And so far, it's a big green Radio Friday here in the US of A. I don't remember the last day that we had Asia, Europe, and the US all in the green. Let's take a look at the Logic 247 alerts, which haven't changed since yesterday because I just didn't see anything I liked. And so the purpose of the alerts is to help you learn to spot windows of opportunity in the market. Now, I drew in a couple for you on yesterday's broadcast, and we'll see those on the chart here in a few minutes when we go there. But the idea of the alerts is to teach you to spot windows of opportunity in the market on your 30-minute chart so that you become self-sufficient. If your goal is to become a trader or trade for a living, then you need to get to the point where you no longer need anyone to tell you when to get in or when to get out. The chart does a far better job of telling you what to expect next. No one knows what's going to happen next in the markets. Not man, not machine, no algorithm, no indicator, no oscillator. When God created Adam, he did not give Adam the ability to change the past or know the future. And those two things are inextricably linked for eternity. Yet, every day in your inbox, here come the emails with all of the false promises about reading tomorrow's headlines today. The latest, greatest holy grail someone has invented or discovered or whatever, going to help you get rich quick. Hopefully by this point, you've come to realize nonsense is nonsense. The only way to succeed as a trader is to actually learn how to trade, which is why we have our program that teaches you exactly that. But you have to do your part. It's not a matter of just clicking the mouse and filling up your pockets. If you treat trading like a business, it will behave like a business. If you treat it like a weekend junket to Vegas, well, whatever you win in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? We all know that. So this week has been such a challenging week, I only issued a total of 18 alerts on Logic 247. One never triggered. We're all caught up. 17 actionable alerts, of which 3 or 18% would have been stopped out based on not risking more than $300 per contract per trade, less when possible, using market structure and a very simple 3-step process that we teach all of our passport holders in their unlimited one-on-one mentoring sessions. There could be some alerts this afternoon, we'll see, but this may be just how we end the week. Now, over the last 239 weeks, we have issued a total of 13,612 individual handcrafted alerts. And over those 239 weeks, we've averaged 20% or less, some weeks much less, of the alerts being stopped out based on the risk profile that I just gave you. Now, the maximum risk is $300, even if the potential profit is $1,000. If the trade setup requires more than $300 of risk, pass. Wait for a better opportunity. But using market structure, you'll often be able to risk far less than $300. You never, and there's no exception to this, you never risk more than the potential profit in a trade. Even if an alert has $10,000 of potential profit in it. If your goal is to get 2 points, $100 per contract, and get out, then you can't risk more than $100 per contract. The alerts come out well in advance of them triggering, so that you have an opportunity to study the alert, study the 30-minute chart, see the window of opportunity that it represents, and then be prepared when price reaches that point to use the skills you learn in the live training room 2 hours a day, every trading day. Now, the logic alerts can come out at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. because futures trade around the clock. And we have traders around the globe. This just hasn't been a great week for trading. Now, our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts, that's actually been a good week. And I'll show you. I'll show you today. I show you every day. Every single day. All right. Now, unlike the logic alerts, which are based on current price action and come out around the clock, the CTAs are based on historic price action, and they are posted as a static report shortly after the Globex open each evening. The Friday session began last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. At 7 p.m. Eastern, I released the numbers. It's kind of like paint by numbers, okay? We're going to use the ES as an example. When this report comes out, first thing you want to do is make note of where price is on your 30-minute chart at this time. It's always going to be between these two numbers. If price is above the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the long target. If price is below the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the short target. It's that simple. Now, you must look left to spot potential obstacles. be it support or resistance, and understand how price behaves at a weekly trading zone. Price is always trying to reach a weekly zone. If price is above the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to reach the long target. If price is below the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to reach the short target. Now, when the report comes out, along with making note of where price is at this time, you should draw a line in the sand, in this case at 39.94, and in this case at 39.47. Those serve as visual cues on your 30-minute chart along with the BBC to let you know which side of the street you should be trading on. Now, this broadcast is open to the public. All of our members and trial members received these numbers last night at 7 p.m. Eastern. But if you're not a member and not on a trial, feel free to take a screenshot right now, and then we'll walk through each one of the individual markets. Of course, we will start with the daily chart, as we do every day. And it's important that you begin your trading session looking at the daily chart, no matter what market you trade. Could be the S&P Emini futures, could be Walmart or Amazon, could be Bitcoin or Forex. Look at the daily chart to see which way the wind is blowing. Last night in the discussion group, this is what we discussed. We discussed that the step line had crossed red and falling, and that most likely today we would see a pull up to the green line, which is the BBC. Stands for bull bear cross. When price crosses below it, we're bearish, we anticipate lower prices. When price crosses above it, we're bullish and anticipate higher prices. Lower prices, higher prices. As you can see, the pullback to the BBC holds more often than it doesn't. Like here and here and here and here. And even here for a couple days. But we know that eventually price will trade through the BBC. That's what keeps the markets fluid and tradable. So price came down to the 38% fib retracement, which is support. When the market finds support, it's going to go look for resistance, which it found at red and falling, which sent us back down 2 days back to back, where again the 38% fib retracement provided support. And in the workshop last night, for those of you that missed last night's workshop, it's available if you're a passport holder in the Telegram channel for the weekly workshops. And this is exactly what we talked about. Now, there's no voodoo. I don't have crystal balls. And you don't need them. You just need to understand what the chart is telling you. Now, we expect this to be resistance. When the markets open Sunday night, I'll be looking for a leg to the downside back to this 38% fib retracement. If price were to get above the BBC and above the 24% fib retracement, you've got a bearish cross right here. The first time up, that will most likely be good resistance. Now, I talked to you about what happens when the step line crosses red and falling, pull back to the BBC. Here, the step line crosses blue and climbing, and what do we get? A pullback to the BBC. Cross, pullback. Cross, pullback. Right here it crosses and it pulls back. And then we get a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement and a leg. These fibs, we've been in a downtrend since March 29th of last year, closing in on a year of a downtrend. The low of the downtrend was put in on October 13th of last year, and the most recent swing high was put in on February 2nd. This is a market looking for direction. Look at all these sideways days. They don't look like this. They don't look like this, or this. This is different. I believe this will turn out to be a major head fake, but only time will tell. The other indicator, the CFMA1, I refer to as red and falling, blue and climbing. All I need is for price to be above the BBC, accompanied by blue and climbing, and I'm looking for long trades. When price gets below the BBC, accompanied by red and falling, I'm looking for short trades. Now that's not just true of the S&P. That's true for all futures markets, all individual stocks, all cryptocurrencies, and all forex pairs. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames, from support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over, again and again. It is a never-ending cycle. It's been in place since the inception of the markets, and it will remain in place until the markets cease to exist. The sooner you can wrap your brain around that, you'll start looking forward to waking up every day and having the opportunity to participate in the markets. Now, you don't have to spend all day looking at the daily chart, because after all, it is a daily chart. But by spending 2 minutes, you can see where the institutional wind is blowing. You know where your major obstacles are, and you know where major support is. Okay. Now, again, that's true across all markets and all time frames. Here's the ES. I talked to you about the lines in the sand, 39.94, 39.48. You can make your line look any way you want. Okay. Just double click it and customize it. The vertical line separates today Friday from yesterday Thursday. Yesterday on this live broadcast, we drew in this window of opportunity. And from 39.56 up to 39.63. It's $350 per contract traded. But then we took out this swing high and we ran all the way to the zone. That's the purpose of the alerts, to help you spot these windows of opportunity. If you missed yesterday's broadcast, just go watch it on YouTube and you'll see me draw this in. So the market opened last night. We pulled back to the BBC and the weekly trading zone. We consolidated for a lot of hours at the weekly zone. That's what happens 70% of the time. 20% of the time, price gets rejected like this. And 10% of the time, you'll have what's called the slice. That's when price slices through a zone like it's not even there. When that happens, price will typically retrace to the zone it sliced through and continue in the direction of the slice. So last night, as price was below the zone and below red and falling, there's no action to take. But notice right here, red and falling turned to blue and climbing. The pullback held. And so beginning with this candle here, lots of room to get your goal for the day up to the target. We then consolidated at the target, continued to the next zone, consolidated. Now the market's trying to reach the next zone, which is 40.54. On the Dow, here's where the market opened, pull back to the BBC just like on the ES, ran up to the zone. Yesterday's high was that zone. When price moves up to a zone, we expect resistance. When price drops to a zone, we expect support. So from this pullback, we've got blue and climbing. First we have price, the step line, blue and climbing. No reason in the world you can't get your goal for the day. Right there. After we consolidate, we make a run up to the target, pull back to the BBC, the pullback holds, make another run and another run. Now we're above that target, eyeballing the zone overhead. On the Russell, market opens, pull back to the BBC, all this room up to the zone, and where the Russell found resistance yesterday at the zone. Now the zones are published for our members and trial members Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. We've published the zone since December 14th of 2009. So again, when you become a lifetime member, a passport holder, you will learn how price behaves around a weekly trading zone, and that will become one of the most important tools in your trading toolbox. So after we consolidated at the zone, 70%, rejection 20%, okay? We hit the target, we pull back to the zone and the BBC, hit the target. Now we're eyeballing the target overhead. But before we can get there, of course, we've got to overcome the high of the previous candle. We're currently printing a red candle. Price rarely travels in a straight line. Leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg. What are we trying to do? Retrace. Now, almost every one of the major indices we've looked at, the S&P, the Dow, and the Russell, looked almost identical. In Q, here's the open, pull back to the BBC, and all this room up to the target. We've overcome the target, we've overcome the zone, and now we're eyeballing the zone overhead. You really don't have to make it any more complicated than that. Crude oil, we were very flat last night, just below the weekly zone. Price began to drop, blue and climbing, turned to red and falling. That's your first indication. And what did price do? Ran right down to the target. And then it actually sliced through the zone, and it did not retrace back to the zone. It attempted to. Didn't quite get there. Came a little bit shy. And then traded down. So now we get back above the BBC. And so we not only hit the short target, but we hit the long target. And the market is attempting higher. On gold, market opened here, pull back to the BBC, and we hit the target. Price pulls back to the target. That area holds. Now, if price can overcome this swing high earlier in the session, we could potentially run all the way up to the next weekly zone. And for gold, that is the highest weekly zone for the week. On silver, here's where the market opened last night. It was a quick trip to the target. Pull back to the BBC, the pullback held, back to the target. Consolidation. Then we get a little double top here, just shy of the target. Yesterday you can see the target was resistance, or the zone was resistance. Well, that's Wednesday. Yesterday, support, resistance. Okay. Oh, on the NQ, we had also drawn on this window of opportunity yesterday on the broadcast. And as you can see, in fact, there was two options. And as futures traders, we don't care if it moves up or down, because there are no restrictions on being short or long as there is in the world of stocks. So whether we filled this window or this window, doesn't matter. Money's the same. So we opened last night, we pulled back, we've already covered that. Silver, where the market found support at the zone, and it sent us back up to the target again. And last but not least, the euro is sort of stranded in no man's land. We opened here down by the zone, we ran up to the zone, pulled back to the BVC, the pullback held, ran back to the zone. Remember, when price moves up to a zone, we expect resistance. When it drops to a zone, we expect support. When it rallies up to a zone, we expect resistance until proven otherwise. And that brings us back to the daily chart. Michael, are you ready?
I am. I am here.
It is.
Is it time?
It is time, brother.
All right, here we go. Bring it over here. And we are ready to go.
All right, looks good.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Today is the 3rd day of March, 2023. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go here to mytradingiq.com. And right here it says sign up for your free 5-day training now, 9:30 to 11:30 Eastern time. Do that and then come up here where it says trading platforms and download the trading platform. Right? It's really important for you to get that trading platform downloaded at the beginning of your trial. As a matter of fact, in the sign up process here, if you have TradingView or you have NinjaTrader, we actually give you an opportunity to let us know in the sign up process for the sign up process for the trial, to give us that information ahead of time so that we'll be able to set up your trading platform for you from our end. We'll be able to enable all the indicators for you. So all you have to do is follow the instructions on this trading platform page and everything will come to life for you. All right, so you get it started right away. Once you do all that, you're going to be sent all the information you need in an email to get into the room in the morning for 5 consecutive business days. Okay, now we'll get into the recap today. It was really active this morning. I introduced something new today that you guys will probably find interesting, I think. I talked about it yesterday and the day before, and I actually coded some of it last night. And, well, it was helpful today. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you're going to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 3rd day of March 2023. So it's 3/3/2023. Today we made 90 ticks in the euro. I'm sorry, 90 ticks in the euro. 90 ticks on the NQ, 60 in crude. We lost 17 in gold, and we made 6 on the ES. That put us at 1,067.50 in the morning session. Today it took 11 minutes and 6 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're at $510 a contract, and I'm sorry, $510, not per contract, just $510. And we took a total of 33 trades today. So 33 trades today. That's a lot of trades. You know, that's more than we took in any single day last month. We're only 3 days in. You'll see once you look at what I've introduced that there's just a lot more opportunity. I've been really conservative since I brought out the newer look, and so I thought I'd take the training wheels off this week first. That's what I said. All right. So on the month now, we're at $2,348. That's over 3 trading days, averaging $782 per contract per 2-hour trading day. On the year, we've gotten our goal in 41 out of 42 days, and we've gone 11 days since our last non-green day, 389 business days since our last red day. Okay. Down here on the year now, we're at 17,000. This was on the month, right? And on the year now, we're at $17,148. That's over 42 business days, averaging $408 per contract per 2-hour business day. Now, if you were to quit trading when you get your goal for the day and you had 1 contract per month, which is what I am actually doing this year, okay, you now would have only had to work 11.31 hours, and you would have made, you would have averaged $695 per hour and made $7,872 in those 11.31 hours. All right, that's what I did in the room in the morning. Okay, that's getting my goal, doing what I did in the room. Now let's get into the actual trades. Okay, here we go. See all these black arrows? That is the new thing. So let me check and see who's in there and see how many of you guys have actually seen those before, from the meeting last night to the room this morning. Okay, so the black arrows, they come after these series of alert arrows. These smaller arrows are saying there's probably a trade coming up, there's probably a trade coming up, and then the black arrows trigger. And when the black arrows trigger, you have to look at what's actually happening and say, you know, there's a really high indication that there is a trade happening right now. Is it actually a trade? And you can see right here, there was a great opportunity right there. But let's go back to the beginning where we started, right in here. Now you see this did not pull back and hit the ribbon. That is because we had the slingshot indicating here that you could take that trade. All right, I did. I took a break even, and then I took the next one right over here, and I took a break even on that one too. Finally, I took this one here. What I did say this morning, what I should have paid attention to, I didn't take this one, which would have been a better trade. I would have got some profit. But I took this one here that was just off the ribbon. All right, you notice how we didn't have a black arrow, it was just off the ribbon, and we didn't have the slingshot going for it. And what I did mention this morning is that we didn't put in a lower swing right here. So this wasn't the greatest trade, but I took it and I stopped out. So at that point on gold, I was at -10. You can see there were a bunch of other places in here you might have considered taking a trade. Right in here was one, right in here was one. See, this one right here, the black was not in the red, but it was not. Right here where it crossed down, the black was not in the red either, but it was in the gray, and that's okay as long as you have the lead line crossing out of the oversold. All right, those are momentum trades is what I'm going to call them. There were a couple more in here, but everything was flat in here, so you didn't want to take anything there. I didn't take anything else until over here. I took a break even there, and then I took another stop out right here. My final trade on gold was right here, and I think I got 2 or 3 ticks, right? 3 ticks, and that was right at the end of the session. I picked up 3 ticks right there. Since the end of the session, there was one more decent trade, which was right here. I guess we took that one, and then it gave us 3 ticks. And you could have taken either one of these off the ribbon right here. This would have been probably a break even, and this one really was a nice looking trade. There was one more right here that triggered as well. Okay, and that was gold this morning. All right. Now the crude oil, let's get into that. It is 12:49, so I have 11 minutes left to go over all this stuff. Okay, so we took a bunch of trades in crude. We were really active with crude this morning. You see a lot of trades triggered in here given the black arrows. Now the black arrows, let's go to the end and see if one's about to hit. The black arrows happen on the down close, well, on the close of the bar. The bar has to close for the black arrow to trigger. So what happens is, in this case here, we're not going to get in because you don't have any arrows leading up to it, right? You're going to have arrows leading up to it. You're going to have, usually going to have a white bar or a white arrow or a red arrow leading up to the black arrow. If you don't, it's because the long-term direction isn't right. Okay, the long-term direction is not right, or the slingshot's not right. So we're not going to have anything happen here right now on crude. But let me go back here some more. Okay, to the beginning of our day. We started out right here with the crude. We ended up with a break-even trade on this. Right, we missed a trade there, and we took this one right here. I believe we got 10 ticks in profit on this one. Yes, we did. Got 10 ticks in profit on that one. Then we had a break even. We got 5 more ticks there. Then we got 5 more ticks here, so we're at 20 at this point. Then we went from 20 to 22, so we got 2 ticks. Then somewhere in here we got 1 more tick. We went from 22 to 23, and then here we stopped out and went from 23 down to 13. And then we went from 13 to 25, so we got 12 ticks there. And then we went from in here, went from 25 to 40, so we got 15 ticks there. Then went from 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70. And then we stopped out right there. That put us back down to 60, and I believe that's where we ended, right? Yeah, that is where we ended for the morning session with the crude oil. During the break, it looks like there were a couple of trades in here. This would have been a momentum trade that didn't go anywhere. This would have been a ribbon / momentum trade that worked out really well. If you get a trade that happens to be a bounce off the ribbon and you have the slingshot working with you, those trades the highest probability trades tend to work out really well. This one here that I stopped out on, I was saying on this one right here that it should have put in a higher swing, and we were topping out right here. So it didn't surprise me that it did stop me out right there. Okay, and then eventually toward the end of the session, it did actually put in a new high, and crude was just tearing it up today. I don't know what's going on that's making crude be the way that it is, but it made it for some really good trading. During the break, there was a trade there. This is not an actual trade right here. You see the red, the black is in the red, so you can't go long when the black is in the red. And that was crude oil, so we ended up with 60 ticks on crude. Okay, and now we'll go to the ES. What time is it right now? 12:52. I am tearing through it. Nobody's asked any questions yet. Well, I guess this is good. If you don't ask any questions, well, I need to understand everything, or you're just going to wait a little longer until you ask some questions, like maybe next week. All right, on the ES. I'm not showing all the trades that I took on the ES because my first trade on the ES I stopped out. Okay, I don't know why it's not showing all these trades, but oh, it's because I'm on this symbol. Hang on. Let's go to I think this is why. Yeah, that's why. Okay, my first trade on the ES I stopped out right here, and then I got a break even. And then I got +4 right there. That put me at -6. Then I got another +4, and that put me at -2. And then all the way at the end, it's right in here at the very end. I went long, and I ended up getting 6 ticks here. This is on the other symbol where it's showing it, but I went long right here. And I actually got 8 ticks. That put me at +6 because I was at -2 after this one. And I got 8 ticks on this, and that put me at +6. And that was it for the ES. Now, if we look during the break, there were a couple of trades that triggered in here. They would have overlapped each other right in here. Ended up being a nice trade. Same thing with these two would have overlapped. Ended up being a profitable trade. All of those really ended up being a profitable trade. Going back through here, you know, there were a lot of opportunities that I didn't get. I think maybe a lot. I don't know. A lot might be a strong word. I guess that was in the pre-market. There aren't that many. Look at it. There weren't that many that I didn't get. Looks like there was. I did get that one. There wasn't anything really there. Everything was all flat here. This is. I was saying I got to work on this right here because we shouldn't have had any arrows in here. The long-term direction being so flat, all the way through here, we probably didn't have any arrows. The long-term direction being so flat, I'm going to work on that and get that straightened out over the weekend. Now to the NQ. We had a bunch of trades on the NQ, and as you can see, it's given a whole bunch of indications of trades as well. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. All the way back to the beginning. Hang on. Here we go. So in here on the NQ, we started out with 7 ticks on that trade, and then 7 ticks on that trade, and then we got 10 on the crude, and that's where we got our goal for the day. Then we had 3 contracts on that, so we're +14 here on the NQ, which was not enough to get the goal, and then we got +10 on crude. So we had 140 here, plus the 10 on the crude, so that put us at 240 times 3. So I think the 510 that I have is probably wrong. It should have been 620, right? Because this is the NQ. All right, so this is the NQ. Sorry. So we were +14, so that's 70 plus it. So that's 170 times 3. That's right. So the 510 is correct. Okay. I just want to make sure I did do that. I did do that math right this morning. So we were +7 here, +7 here. You see the long-term direction got flat in here again. We should not be getting any arrows in here for this. There was one more trade in here that you could have taken, which would have been a break-even trade, probably maybe a little profit with the NQ. It goes about 8 ticks in pretty quick time. In here, we took a long trade, went from 14. Right here was a good trade, went from 14 to 46. We had 8 points right there with 32 ticks. The next trade here, I don't think I counted that one because I have the next trade as being a stop out. Okay, so we had something right here that I didn't count. Then we had a break even here, and we had a stop out there. Oops, stop out here. That put us back down to 26. And then a break even right here. Missed all these trades through here. And right here, I picked up 8 ticks to get us to 34. And then we had a big trade somewhere coming up. All these trades in here were still valid trades that I missed. Okay. I know I tuned out of the NQ because it was getting a little crazy for me, and I tuned out of it for a little while. I just shut it off. But right in here, we picked up another 40 ticks, I think, or something like that. It went from 34 to 74, so we picked up 10 points right there on the NQ. A break even there, break even there. We went from 74 to 86, so we had 12 ticks right there. Missed that one. This was a valid trade. This was not. None of this in here should have had any arrows right here. From this point over, shouldn't have had any arrows. This was a nice trade right here, nice valid trade. I missed that. This was not a valid trade. The black was in the green. The deal with these arrows, if the black is in the gray, for a short, if the black's in the gray or the red, you can take it. If the black's in the green, you can't. I'm going to get that fixed so these won't even show. But there was a valid trade here. Any of they would have been combined probably. This one right here, the long-term direction, again, should have not shown an arrow. Same thing with this one right here, but I did actually take this. And I went from 86 to 90. So that is where I ended up on the morning session with 90 right there. I don't think I took any more trades, but if you look, you can see that there were some more there, here, here, here. Even this one was a valid trade. That would have stopped you out. There would have been one stop out through all of this. Yes. And in here, the long-term direction was flat, so you shouldn't have taken anything through there. I'm going to get that worked out. And that was it for the NQ, right? So it's now 12:58. So I'll just show you back to the spreadsheet. If you are going to read the spreadsheet, you read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. I don't see any questions popping in. So today's the 3rd day of March, 2023. Made 90 ticks in the euro, 60 ticks on crude, lost 17 on gold, and we made 6 on the ES. Put us at 1,067 on the morning session. Today it took 11 minutes and 6 trades to get to the goal for the day. That bar up $510 a contract, which took a total of 33 trades. On the month, we're at $2,348. So over 3 trading days, averaging $782 per contract per 2-hour trading day. And on the year, we've gotten the goal in 41 out of 42 days. And we've gone 11 days since our last non-green day, 389 days since our last red day. And on the year now, we're at $17,148, averaging $408 per contract per 2-hour business day. If you quit trading when you get your goal for the day, and you add 1 contract per month, doing what I did in the room so far, you'd only worked 11.31 hours and averaged $695 per hour. $695 per hour. That's what I did in the room so far. If you haven't taken a free trial with us, you can go here to mytradingiq.com, sign up for it right here. Now I'm going to jump into the live stream now. If you do not know how to get into the live stream, go here to TradingView.com and go to upcoming streams or even live streams right now. Okay, I'm going to start the stream right now, and we'll jump into that. All right, if anybody's got any questions, go over there to the live stream. You can follow us on TradingView as well. Follow CFRN on TradingView if you don't already do that. And I'm going to start the stream right now. Okay, and I'll click on that, and I'll hit refresh on this page, and I'll click on this again, do entire screen, and select that one, and hit share, and now start stream again. Okay, and hide that thing. And the stream is now live. Okay, so for everyone who's just coming on here right now, yeah, welcome. Hang on, let me scroll this a little bit. If you, hang on, all right. So what we're looking for here is for the long-term direction, which is this outer band, to be either going up or down, to be bullish or bearish. All of them right now are bullish. What we're looking for is a pullback down into the ribbon, and then we'll take a trade off the ribbon if we can. Okay, that's what we're looking for, a pullback down into the ribbon. If we get a pullback down into the ribbon, that will be a trade opportunity. You see all these black arrows? That's something that we implemented last night. That black arrow right there on the NQ is showing a long opportunity. Hang on, I want to post this over here and say paste, ding, okay, like that. Okay, so the black arrow on the NQ is suggesting a long opportunity. We can get 8 ticks in profit on the NQ. We're going to bump that stop to break even. We don't have 8 ticks yet. We just about have it. Just about have it. It's going to get up to 63. Then I'll bump the stop to break even. Okay, now this should go up at least to the prior swing high. Every trade on the NQ starts off with 20 ticks of risk. Right, it's a 16 tick range bar with 20 ticks of risk on the NQ. These other 3 charts are 7 tick range bars, and they start out with 10 ticks of risk. All right, we have a bigger range bar on the NQ, so we have bigger risk, right? And we have bigger gains as well. So far, the morning session on the NQ, we're up 60 ticks, I think. We're at a high of, on the morning up, a high of 70. With the crude oil on the morning session, we were up 90 ticks this morning. I think, no, that was the NQ. I'm sorry, we're up 90 on the NQ, and so I stopped to break even on this. We're up 90 on the NQ. I looked away for a second. I'm not sure if it hit 63, but there, now it did. Stop to break even, and cancel my original stop. All right, now where should this go, you might ask, right? Well, the minimum it should go is up here to the prior swing high at 67.5. Okay, 67.5. I'm going to lock in a little bit of profit on this. 4 ticks. The high of the day is right up here. So it'd be nice if it went all the way up to the high of the day, but it just took us out with plus 4 ticks. Okay, so let me go back. Let me go back here and take a look at this. Right, it says we are streaming live. Yes, all that. So this was our very first trade here on the NQ. That ended up being a profitable trade right there. All right, so I want to kind of slow it down a little bit and give anybody that's watching the opportunity to ask about equities. Yesterday we had a couple of equities that we looked at. Walmart and Tesla, I think, were the ones we looked at yesterday, and Tesla worked out really well. I don't know what happened with the Walmart one. But if anybody's got anything they want to look at as far as equities go, or stocks, ETFs, anything like that, I'm happy to take a look at that as well. Again, the rules, looking for the long-term direction, which is the outer band, to be either bullish or bearish. All of them are bullish right now. This one's starting to get weak over here on gold. But that's what you're looking for, all right? Now, if you are brand new to futures trading, this is a 16 tick range bar on the NQ. That means every bar is 16 ticks high. In this case, tick means price movement, not transaction. Okay, so if you know the low of the bar is, you know the high of the bar is going to be. If you know what the high is, you know what the low is going to be. So if you're anticipating a long opportunity on an up close, like on this bar right here, you just have to wait till the bar closes up, and then you can jump in the trade, jump in the market on the up close of the bar. You can also be proactive, since you know where the bar is going to close ahead of time. You can be proactive and put an order on there and have it waiting. So when the bar closes up, you're ready to go, and it's going to enter you into the trade. So you're proactive instead of being reactive. Okay, and it's really pretty simple. Brian, the SPY. Let's go look at that. Hang on, we got the NQ just triggered again, but let's go look at the SPY on the gold chart. I'll switch this to the SPY chart. Okay. SPY stock. All on this and this one here. Okay, now you're not going to do that on the 7 range. The SPY will do on 100 range, which means every bar is $1. Okay, that's pretty bullish right there. Let's see if we can get anything better on half a buck range. Okay, the NQ is triggered and it's starting to take off a little bit here, guys. Okay, after we get 8 ticks in profit, we're going to bump that stop to break even over there on the SPY. On the it's got to hit 64.75 to get the stop to break even. I don't think it's hit that yet. It's about to though. Come on, get up there. One more. There it is. Stop to break even on this. Okay. And again, this should go up here at least to 68 right there. All right. Gonna lock in a little bit of profit on this. We got 1 point locked in again, and this should go up to 68. But this is the Q. I'm not going to target there and limit myself. I got 2 points locked in, 3 points locked in, 4 points, 5 points. There's 5 more points on the NQ. Okay, and that was from right here. right? Pretty easy stuff. Okay, so back to the NQ. Brian, you asked about the NQ. Not the NQ, the SPY. Okay, back here when it pulled back and it gave you all these arrows back here, it was looking pretty bullish. Right now, it's probably due for a pullback. You see how the lead line has gotten up into the overbought right here? It's probably due for a pullback right now to give us another opportunity. Okay, that's what I would say right now. Let me give you more detail about that. Back here at 11:11, the up close right here at 4:01 was a long opportunity. Then right here at 11:34, the up close at 4:01.52. And right here at 11:39, I'll just use this as the latest. The up close here at 4:01.46. What did I say that was? 4:01.46. Let me try to type this all correctly too. The up close at 4:01.46 on the 11:39. Indicated a long. Indicated. I'm trying to do so many things here. My spelling is just horrible. Indicated a long. It is now due for a pullback from 403.16 area. There. Okay. Now let's go over here and see if we missed anything else. So far we've got these two NQ trades. We had a point on that one. And how many points did we get on that? 6 points on that one, I think. Okay, and here we had one trade here that triggered just a few minutes ago. I'm sorry I missed that on the crude oil. It was right here. That triggered. That is a momentum long trade right there on the crude. Okay, see we had the arrow. Everything down here was looking good. Everything up here was looking good. The entry point would have been right here at 79.52. 79.52. Right there. With an inspiration of getting up here to 79.60. It actually looks like if I look at the crude DOM right now, crude should go up through the high of the day up to 70.65. 70.65. Okay, that's what crude should go up to. The high of the day is right up here, and it should go up above that right now. Probably right now. You can see it's having trouble doing it, but right up here, 70.65 is what that's trying to get to. Now, I didn't look in a lot of detail here on the spider. Looking left to give you a good target number. But let me go to a larger time frame. I'm going to go to a 30-minute on this. All right, so we're over here right now. The spider has got a window of opportunity, Brian. Okay, hang on. Is that XAUUAD? Is that the actual symbol? And that's going to be on stock. I'll go look at it. But the SPY right now has got a window of opportunity. If it gets up above 404.27, it should probably go all the way up to 407.90. Okay. Brian. If it gets above 40, we'll say 404.60. Is that 404.90? Is that what I said? No, 409. 407. 407.34. Okay, 407.34. Let me put that in. Okay, and XUAAD. I don't know what that is, but I'll type it in. XUAAD. That's got nothing. What is there a different symbol that you meant to ask me about? Mashty boy. That's not coming up as a symbol. Okay. Okay, thanks, Dwight, for typing all that stuff in. That makes it easier for me. All right, so on the NQ, we are looking for this. Actually, it's not going to be, you're not going to get a black arrow here because the lead line, the white, did not get into the oversold area. So you're not going to get a black arrow. So it's got to pull down and get into the ribbon to get a trade. All right, over here, this was the only trade we had going here. And then if we go back to gold here, oh, X, okay, all right, okay, I got it. XAU USD, I get it, okay. I'll show it to you, but that's Forex, right? XAU. No. XAU/USD. I want to click on all. Clearly, this is not my wheelhouse. Oh, it's crypto. Okay, there we go. That'll make sense then. XAU USD. Again, not my wheelhouse. There we go. Gold. Is this what you want to look at right here? Okay, so I don't know how volatile this is. All right, look, the crew just got up to that number. I don't know how volatile this is, but if we look at it, this is on a 30-minute chart. Let's look at it on a 50 range chart. Okay, it looks like it's topped out on the 30-minute chart, and the 50 range chart seems to be too small. 100 range chart. That means every bar is a buck on this one, so it might have to be like a different kind of range chart. Do a 500 range chart. Okay, that means every bar is $5. There you go. All right, so with every bar being $5, I'll go back to the gold in just a minute. Is the black arrow? The black arrow is, it's part of our whole indicator set. Go take a trial with us. Go to, I didn't say that yet, did I? Go to mytradingiq.com to sign up for the trial. Okay, mytradingiq.com, sign up for the trial there. The black arrow is something that's going to be implemented over the weekend that everybody will have access to. All right. All right. So this is what the XAU USD looks like. All right. So what you're looking at when it pulls back into the ribbon like this, you get all these black arrows. See, the black arrows are showing you that the slingshot is agreeing with a trade setup off the ribbon. Right. This one here would not have been a trade. It did work out okay, but it would not have been a trade because the black was in the red on the time of the up close. Okay, so this one would not have been a trade either. This would, this would, this would, that wouldn't, that would, those would be together. And going in the other direction, that's what it looks like. Okay, I don't really have anything. Right now it should pull back, is what it should do. It should pull back down here, probably down here into 1847, that area, and then bounce. That's probably what it's looking like to me. Okay, that's what I look like. So for XAU, I'll just type it in XAU, pull back to 1847, a bounce back to 1848.9. That's what it looks like. Let me snap this back and we'll look at gold. Gold was my nemesis today. All right, let's go to GC and we'll go to futures, gold futures. I ended negative on gold today. We're gonna do that on the 7 range. GCH 2023. What the heck? Let me hit auto on this and see if I can fix it. This is definitely not looking right to me. That is gold futures, GCH. Oh, we're in the March contract. Okay, that's the wrong contract. GCJ. There we go. That's better. Okay. Okay, on the gold, let me hit auto on this. Okay. Over here on the NQ, I just got to say this right quick. On the NQ, if it pulls back, if the spark closes down, there's going to be no trade here. On the ES, if it gets down into the ribbon, it'd be a trade. If this bar closes up, you got to look for the black arrow, because this white bar has got to get out of the oversold. Right, so this might be a trade here on the ES, but it's not yet. The crude oil did get to exactly where I thought it was going to get up to, and now it's pulling back. Look for that to get back down into the ribbon. And the gold, you look for the same thing. Look for the gold to pull back down and get into the ribbon right here. Okay, and give it up close, possibly. Yes, black arrow is part of the entire set. It's part of the context, right? And it's only in TradingView. All right, so we're looking for the pullbacks on all these right now. Oh, that was that was you stating that. That wasn't you asking about that. Okay, sorry about that. Trying to keep up with all of it right now. Okay, so you see over here the black got into the red, so there's no trade here on the NQ, and we could still get a trade here on the ES. That's still up in the air right now. We're not going to have anything here on the crude oil unless it pulls all the way back down and gets into the ribbon. The slingshot is just not set up for it. All right, so the same thing for gold. This is going to pull back all the way down to the ribbon. All right. Is that a symbol, Nasty Boy, or was that thanking me? I'll try any symbol you want me to try. Okay. The stuff works on all markets. You know, whatever you're trading, it works on everything. And we're looking at things last night in our partners meeting. We were looking at things on weekly charts and daily charts and everything else. It just keeps working. Okay. Yeah. So I'm Brent. We're just looking for a pullback here. You know, gold for me today. Gold was tough. We didn't have that many trades, and I stopped out right there, -10, and I stopped another place right over here, -10. I missed a couple of decent trades, but it didn't provide a lot of opportunity for us today, sadly. But the NG made up for it. And crude oil. Crude provided a ton of opportunity today. Crude was just a great trading market today. And I only got some of these trades, and I still ended up with 90 ticks or something like that, didn't I, with crude? 60 ticks on crude. My high was 70. I ended up with 90 on the NQ. But I missed a ton of really nice trades. I still ended up with 60 ticks on crude this morning in the 2-hour session. If you guys want to get into that 2-hour session, it's every weekday, Monday to Friday from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Sign up for the free trial, mytradingiq.com. Okay, go to mytradingiq.com. And with TradingView, it's really easy to get your indicators activated. You just got to give us your TradingView profile name. And it's not like we have to send it out somewhere and get it done. With with trading, I don't want to get myself disqualified. With TradingView, you just got to give us your profile name. Okay. It's a lot easier than other platforms. All right, so I'm waiting for pullbacks here, unless somebody has another symbol. Okay, if you have more symbols on that, I better jump on it. We only have 10 minutes left in here, though, guys, and I have meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting today, so I can't stay around too much after this one. Speaking of that, Jody, are you in here? So let's make a link for your meeting. No. Okay. So again, the black arrow is another thing to help you identify the trade setups that you should really be looking closely at. Okay. It's not saying get into the trade without doing any consideration at all, but it's saying this really high probability that this is where you should be in. All right. Most of the black arrows are going to be just right. I have to do some more work on them over the weekend because there are some spots where we're getting black arrows where the long-term direction is too flat. That's what I was getting at earlier on. I think it was on the ES. A couple spots in here. Now, if we get it up close here, and the white turns up, even if we don't hit the ribbon, that's going to be a momentum long trade. We'll be able to take that. Over here on crude oil, it's not the same thing. The crude actually has to get down into the ribbon here. And over here on the gold, that's got to get down into the ribbon too. You see the slingshot is not pulled all the way back to give you the momentum trade yet. It is on the ES, so the ES could do it, but the other markets are not ready yet. Okay. We're just about here on the crude. All right, one more tick down and we'll be able to take an up close. Actually, what's the high at this spot? The highest bar is 53 and the low is right there. That's what we need. So now we need an up close from this level. All right, 47. This is a 7-tick range bar. So what you do, 47 is a low. 8 ticks above 47 would be 55. So I'll put a buy stop limit on right up there. All right, if this bar closes up, it's going to close up at 54 and it'll trigger me in at 55. Okay, that's why I use range bars. You can be proactive. Okay, so far we've got these couple of trades over here on the NQ that worked out well, and we haven't had another trade yet, but we did get to cover a couple of other markets for you, which I'm happy to do. If you guys that are in here in the live chat, if you haven't followed us yet, follow CFRN on TradingView. You probably already have, but if you haven't, and you want to be alerted to when we have our next webinar, like we might do something Monday morning at the open. I haven't really thought about that too much yet, but we might do something Monday morning at the open, and it'd be like an hour-long thing at the open on Monday morning, and then you'll be able to see a lot more of this stuff. Okay, and then if you decide to take the trial over the weekend or today, if you go and take the trial today, we'll get your indicators activated today, so you have them over the weekend to check things out. And yeah, and all that. And then Monday morning, if you're in the trial, you have 2 hours Monday morning. It won't just be the one. We're looking for the up close here on the crude, right? If this bar closes up at 54, it's going to trigger us in at 55. That's what we're waiting for. Over here on the ES now, if we get an up close on the bar, I think it's gonna trigger the lead line, the white line, to move up. If it does trigger the white line to move up, then it's gonna print a black arrow right here. Okay, and we'll want to go long. That would be a long opportunity, a momentum long trade. Okay. All right, so nobody asked me yet. I did say over here, because we're using a 16-tick range, I can't see what that's, okay. Because we're using a 16-tick range, we just triggered in on the crude, okay. Because we're using a 16-tick range over here on the NQ, I use a 20-tick stop. Because I'm using a 7-tick range on these other 3 markets, I use a 10-tick stop. Okay, so every trade, as soon as you get into it, has 10 ticks of risk. Off of these 3 markets, has 10, and off of this one has 20. Okay, and the ES closed up, but the white line did not go, so you do not have the black arrow on this one. That's still not a trade there on the ES. Not yet. Oops, crap. Let me bring that back up. It was crude oil, right? Oops. I brought up the wrong crude. Hang on. Here it is. Crude oil. Here it is. Let me click on that. All right. So this bar, if it closes up on the ES, will be the trigger. Okay, that would be the momentum long trigger. That will bring the white line up above, I think, and you get your black arrow then. All right, so over here now, the risk management strategy, those of you guys who don't know, the risk management strategy is bump my stop to break even after I get 4 ticks in profit. With all of these ones where I have 10 ticks of risk, I bump to break even after 4 ticks, like right there. It just hit 4 ticks in profit. It hit it right there. That's why I bumped the stop to break even. Now I don't have any risk on this trade, and I think it's going to go up here to 70. Okay. So let me slide this over here for just a second. I'll draw that up there for you. This is where I think the next target is going to be. Come on, right here, 70. Now it may take me out of break even right now. Oops, that wasn't a very nice try. There. It may take me out of break even right now, and if it does, it does. But 70 is where this should be going up to. there's the ES. The ES finally triggered too. Okay. Now the ES should go up to, it should go through the high of the day. The ES should, and the numbers that it's given are just right up above the high of the day. We ended up with a break even on crude, but the numbers that the ES is given are just above the high of the day at 40.75. Okay, 40.75 on the ES. Let me draw that for you as well. Okay, 40.75 right here. That's what that should get up to. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so we ended up with break even here on the crude. Let me put that in there. We should have had a long trade on that first one that I have the circle on it in there. We should have a long trade on that. And we do have a long trade here on the ES going to. That should get up to 40.75. 4 ticks in profit will bump the stop to break even. I actually think I should have already had the stop at break even. Minute 38, and no, it only got to 38.75. This is actually another, well, that's the same long trade right there on the crude. That should make it up here to 70. Crude should. Okay, we don't have anything over here on the NQ. You see how the long-term direction is flat, so we don't have anything there. Okay. If anybody's got any more symbols you want me to look at, just type them in. All right. Any of you guys, any symbols? It's 128. So I don't know if we're going to get to finish this trade here on the ES. I do have another meeting coming up in 12 minutes. So. Well, hopefully the ES is going to do something here so we can get the risk off the trade anyway. We were concerned just at the end of the morning session about how the markets are going to act. How the markets are going to act when the European markets closed. Okay, and I'm actually pleasantly surprised that they reacted pretty well and gave us a pretty good opportunity. It was really choppy over here right through this last hour of the European markets, and then they closed, and then we had some freedom here. Okay. Nothing here on the NQ. Okay. Well, I'm going to slide this off to the side, and I'll finish that trade out, but I'm going to have to wrap this session up in just a minute or two here, guys. So we had 2 profitable trades on the NQ, 1 break even on the crude, and we're in a trade right now on the ES that I'm pretty sure is going to turn out to be profitable. Yes. All right. So the ES is starting to push up again right here. It's starting to give a little more push, and 4 ticks. We're going to move our stop to break even. There's 3, back to 2, back to 1. All right. Come on, get up there. Get up there. All right. Well, this is taking too long. I'm gonna let the trade play out, but sadly, this meeting goes from 1 to 1:30, and we're gonna have to wrap it up. But if you guys wanna, if anybody that's watching right now, you want to get involved with us on a longer than half-hour basis, then go sign up for our free trial at mytradingiq.com. And if you follow us, if I do decide to do something Monday morning, you'll get notified over the weekend that we're going to do something Monday morning. Okay. I am going to have to wrap this up now. So thanks for coming, everybody. Today we're going to end with 2 profitable NQ trades. Hang on, the ES. This is just starting to go up. I'm going to let it go another minute. Okay, let me create that other meeting. I'll do that. It's going to go. It's just a matter of time. It hasn't hit 4 ticks in profit, so I can't move the stop to break even yet. Remember, my risk management strategy is to move the stop to break even after I get 4 ticks in profit. And then I don't have to worry about the trade. I can just let it go. But again, time is becoming an issue. All right, so if you want to spend more time with us in this half hour, then take the free trial by tradingiq.com. All right, and you get access to everything. I am going to have to wrap up this meeting for right now because I do have another one coming up. All right, thanks for coming today, everybody. Hopefully we'll see you starting again Monday. All right, if we don't see you over the weekend, have a great weekend. If I don't talk to you before then, sign it off for now. Okay, the live stream has ended, and now I really do have to create that meeting for Jody. That will start in 8 minutes. So,
All right, good job.
Thank you.
The morning session, recap of the recap.
This morning, it took us 11 minutes and 6 trades to get to $510 a contract.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
All right, guys, another quick look at the markets. Remember, the resistance we're up against right here, daily VVC. It's powerful. Right above that is the 24% Fib retracement, and right above that is the bearish cross that led to an extended move. First time price revisits that area, we anticipate it to be good resistance. On the ES, reaching up to that next weekly zone, price is always trying to get to a weekly zone. If price is below the VVC, it's trying to get to the zone below. If it's above, it's trying to get to the zone overhead. That may not be sexy, but it sure is simple. Now that little doji there, that has to be overcome in order for you to catch this run up to the zone. On the Dow, similar. Russell. As price approaches these windows of opportunity, you just use what you learn every morning in the live training room to execute. And here we are on the NQ. Crude. The next zone is up at, oh, I said $80 earlier. It's actually $82. So we probably won't see it today, but we very well might see it Sunday night. But here's a caveat. Look at the step line. It's about to cross blue and climbing. And we had a rapid move up. We hit the target, hit the short target, hit the long target. But the step line's starting to cross. Once the step line crosses blue and climbing, that indicates, in most cases, a pullback to the VBC and then another long opportunity. Gold, just kind of rolling sideways, nothing exciting there. Silver just hit the weekly trading zone that was published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern to the tick. We've published the zone since December 14th of 2009. Once they're published for our members and trial members Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, they're carved in stone. They do not change in any way whatsoever the entire week. And on the euro, we've simply gone from zone to zone to zone. Pretty quiet. So keep in mind where you are on the daily. There is no one index that leads the other, but wherever the S&P 500 goes, the others will eventually follow. Doesn't mean the S&P will move first, but it is the leader of the pack. Now, whatever career choice you've made in life up to this point, plumber, electrician, pilot, attorney, brain surgeon, instinctively you know that in order to become whatever it is you want to become, you're going to need somebody to teach you how to do the job, or a series of people. Okay? If you're going to become a doctor, Well, first you got to get your college degree, and then you got to get your master's, and then you go to medical school. So training, training, training. But because trading has such a low barrier to entry, I mean, put $3,000 in a futures account, hey, go print up business cards that say trader. Well, that's why so many traders fail. Because if the barrier to entry is so low, then it must be easy to do. When it's exactly the opposite. 9 out of 10 new traders fail just because they don't have a teacher. That's why every day for 2 hours from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern, you have a teacher in an interactive environment, putting on, taking off trades live in real time, explaining every move they make, every trade they take, and answering your questions while you trade along in sim until you qualify to go live. All of our passport holders receive a 24/20 blueprint. You start out in sim until you put together 10 consecutive days in a row where you reach your goal in 10 trades or less. Once you accomplish that, the blueprint will give you the green light to go live with one contract. Now that you're trading real money, your goal is to increase your account balance by $2,000. Once you accomplish that, the blueprint will give you the green light to add a second contract. The blueprint will notify you when it's time to add number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 10, all the way up to number 20. That's why it's called the 24/20 blueprint. It's designed to help you go from 1 to 20 contracts over a period of 24 months. But you have to have the discipline and self-control to follow the program and the rules as they are laid out. 2 points in the S&P with one contract's $100. But as you earn your way up the ladder to 5 contracts, the same 2 points is now $500. And as you continue to earn your way up the ladder at 10 contracts, the same 2 points that once paid you $100 a day now pays you $1,000 a day. And that actually puts you in the top 3% of wage earners worldwide. But the question remains, we provide the education, we provide the tools. Do you have the patience and self-discipline to follow the plan? The other reason 9 out of 10 new traders fail is because they don't have a business plan, they don't have a trading plan. They're just clicking the mouse, using the latest shiny object to come down the pike. You will never become a consistently profitable trader with shiny objects. You have to learn how to trade. That's why we provide you with lifetime membership. No recurring fees, no upsells, nothing to buy from us ever again. When you become a passport holder, you'll have lifetime access to the live training room. You'll have access to unlimited one-on-one private mentoring. The strategy you learn and the indicators you own for life are fluid across all markets, all time frames. That includes stocks, crypto, forex, everything. As a passport holder, you'll also receive the Logic 247 alerts around the clock. You'll receive the concierge trade alerts every night when they're posted. And if you go back and look at every daily broadcast over the last, go back as far as you want. That's why we archive them, so you can get to know who we are and what we do. Today, the only instrument that did not reach its CTA target was the euro. It just went from zone to zone to zone. But every other market we walked through hit the target, some multiple times, and some then some. We also have a members-only workshop every Thursday night. As a passport holder, you'll of course be a part of that. And we have a very vibrant community, a discussion group filled with talented traders who have learned the exact strategy that you're learning. So you have support around the clock, along with 2 hours of live training every trading day and unlimited one-on-one private mentoring. Remember, the passports, lifetime membership, no recurring fees, no upsells, no nonsense. Simply go here, eminifuturestrading.com. Couple mouse clicks, you'll become a passport holder. Valerie will spring into action and start setting everything up for you. Your charts, your platforms, your indicators, getting you connected to all of the different Telegram channels that you'll have access to. There's one for the weekly trading zones, one for the concierge trade alerts, one for discussion. Probably have about 10 different channels total. It's everything a trader needs, all under one roof at one low price. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you spent too much time and too much treasure already, it's time to buckle down and learn how to trade. The more you treat it like a business, the more it will behave like a business. If you treat it like a weekend junket to Vegas, well, then those are the kind of results that you're going to get. And we all know what we win in Vegas stays in Vegas. If you have questions, call 949-42-EMINI or just send an email to support@cfrn.net. But you can just go right here. Take care of it all yourself. As soon as you do, Valerie will be in touch with you, start getting you all set up. Let's wrap this week up with our good word for the day. Yesterday we talked about not giving up. A lot of traders just get tired of being beat up, and so they give up. That was our discussion yesterday. If you missed it, go to youtube.com/CFRN. So today our topic is a question. What are you hiding behind? 1 Samuel 10:22 says he is hiding among the baggage. And we've all got baggage. And I'm not talking Samsonite. When Samuel went to present Israel's first king to the people, Saul was discovered hiding among the baggage. I am talking Samsonite there. The Hebrew word for baggage symbolizes the self-imposed limitations that hinder you from tackling the job God appointed you to do. Things like this. Feelings of inadequacy. Saul's first response when he learned he had been chosen as king was, "Am I not from the smallest tribe of Israel, the least of all?" When you fail to figure God into the equation, you will always feel less than. Instead of focusing on your weaknesses and inabilities, concentrate on the incredible greatness of God's power. Fear of what others might think. Proverbs tells us in Proverbs 29:25, fearing people is a dangerous trap. Earlier this week, we talked about getting out of the headspace of being a people pleaser. And Saul fell into it head first. When Samuel confronted him for failing to obliterate the Amalekites, he replied, "I was afraid of the people and did what they demanded." God's word assures us, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. So we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper. I will not fear what man shall do unto me. Hebrews 13:5. Once you take hold of the truth, that specific truth, and act on it, you'll find there's nothing to be afraid of. And number 3, being overly pragmatic. In James 1:8, the Bible says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And boy, if there was ever a scripture that you could apply to trading, that would certainly be in the top 10. And it's all fit the bill to a T. When he didn't hear from God, he took matters into his own hands and consulted a psychic. And after promising not to harm David, he repeatedly hunted him down. Adaptability is commendable, but God requires consistency and commitment. And that's our good word for the day and for the week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.